killed Liz. I killed the teen dream. Deal with it. I killed Liz. I killed the teen dream. Deal with it.
Hello, party people. Welcome back to the party. I thought we could take a look at some videos that Alex has on her channel about weight loss, and specifically in this video, her lap band journey. So, from what I can see, she only actually has like 2 videos about it. I think there's another one, but I just saw it, like something about her going to Mexico for surgery. So that's gonna have to be in another video. But these 2 are on the shorter side, so I thought I would combine them. I think they're like a year or so apart. I will be having the dates on the screen at the beginning of the videos. So let's get into it.
Hi everybody, I'm here today to do a video about how I lost about 60 pounds over the past couple of years. It's been a little bit overdue. Somebody requested to do this video like a month or 2 ago, and I'm sorry I'm taking so long to do it, but I'm finally doing it now. I have a little time and to explain my situation.
It's really crazy to see her like this and then see her as she is today in 2025. Like, the difference is quite alarming.
So it's been about 3 years now. It's 2013, probably almost 4. That it took me a long time to lose this. I lost all of it probably like a year ago, so it took about 2-3 years.
So it took her 2 to 3 years to lose 60 pounds, and I'm wondering if we're going to find out what her starting weight was.
I'm titling this video my lap band journey because I actually did have the lap band surgery done back in January 2009 or 10. Oh my god, it's been it's been a really long time. So I got the surgery done, and I got it done when I was 16, which is kind of young, but I noticed that my weight was really spiraling out of control, and I needed to do something about it. And my biggest problem was food. I've been going to the gym for forever. I don't mind the gym. I love to sweat. I love to get it all out there. But food was always a problem. I didn't have any portion control, and the lap band surgery was something that would help me get back on track.
You know, this is honestly really sad to see, because this has been, 12 years now, and she's still here. You know, she's still struggling with portion control. She's still struggling with food. She's still struggling like this, in this same way. It's really sad.
So what the lap band surgery is, basically, they take this little tube that's circular, with a little pouch that's filled with some sort of liquid, probably silicone or something, and they place it at the top part of your stomach and kind of like suck it on, so it's like a little new stomach, like a little pouch. You get full really fast, so you learn kind of how to use portion control. And what I didn't know at the time when I got it done was that you're going to need fills to fill it up, because that liquid's going to kind of come out of it. You know, it kind of flattens so like you can eat normal again. So you need to get it filled kind of frequently, and I wasn't aware of that. So I don't really have any fill centers near me that would take me. So I had kind of a lot of trouble with the lap bands. Although it did help me lose some weight, I probably lost like 30 pounds from it. From the portion control, but in all honesty, I've noticed a lot of people have this problem too. You will throw up a lot of your food. The food will get stuck in the band, some of it won't fit through, you're gonna throw it up, and it's really, really, really painful when that happens.
Now, I have to preface this with saying I know even less about gastric band than I do about gastric bypass. At least with gastric bypass, I have people in my, like, real life that I can speak to or have spoken to who have had the surgery and, you know, have gone through it. I don't know anybody who's had lap band, so I really don't know much about it, but I am wondering if that, like, the issues that she's talking about are because she was still overeating or still trying to overeat. Like I said, I don't know, but just knowing how she is, you know, how we've seen her with her gastric bypass, how we've seen her on other diets, I do have to question if that's not what was happening.
I have a friend who I stay in touch with this whole time. We got it done together, and she lives in Arizona. As ever, she had the same problems as me. I finally was able to get mine removed this past summer. That's when I had my surgery, if you guys were watching back then. It was just, oh my God, it was such a relief to get it removed.
I don't know if that video is still up because this one goes back pretty far. I mean, this is pretty old. It's from 2013. So I don't know if she has any videos from then, but because that would have been in 2012. But yeah, it's crazy to me. This is probably why she didn't get approved to get it done in the US and she had to go to Mexico to do it. And also, probably if she had gotten it done in the US, she could have gone to the fill centers here in the US. So, creates kind of problems when you try to cheat the system.
Because after a while, it's just constant pain and hard times with eating. By when you wake up in the morning, it would be like tight again. It was weird. But then by nighttime, it would loosen and you could pretty much eat almost anything, which is totally horrible because you're supposed to eat like a nice, good, hearty breakfast. And then by the end of the night, you're not really supposed to eat as much. So it was kind of defeating the purpose for a while.
My thing is, if you had learned portion control with having the lap band, then it wouldn't have mattered. It would, I mean, yeah, it would have been more difficult to eat in the morning if it was super tight, but in the evening it wouldn't have mattered because you should be learning portion control. And sadly, we know that you never learned portion control. You had the surgery done when you're 16, and I think she's 32 now, and still no portion control.
So, in all honesty, coming from someone who had the lap band and finally got it removed, you know what? If you have a fill center nearby and you can handle the self-control not to stretch out your band by overeating and stuff like that, I don't not recommend the band, but it's a commitment. And
I think this should have been a red flag for her surgeon who did her bariatric, or her team, her bariatric team, because she just said here, if you can handle not stretching out your band, and she also said it's a commitment. Yes, it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to be a lifestyle change. It's supposed to be a lifelong change. Why wouldn't it be a commitment? And that's probably another reason why they don't like to do this surgery on people who are under 18, because that sense of permanence isn't there yet. Clearly, she wasn't, I don't know, nobody talked to her and said, you need to make a lifestyle change. And it's not just for a year or a few years, it's forever. You need to get a hold of this because this is going to be a lifelong problem. It's crazy to me to see her honestly still saying the same shit 12 years later.
I almost think to myself, if you can handle the portion control to keep the band working properly, then why would you need the band? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, I don't know. The band was definitely an interesting experience, but since it stopped working a couple of years ago,
Obviously, it didn't stop working because you're discussing and saying that it was still tight in the morning. So probably what was happening is that instead of eating the portions that you're supposed to, you were overeating like you do now. That's not something that would have just happened, in either 2019 or 2020 or whenever you ballooned up. That's something that's learned. That's a habit that's formed over time. And considering that you were heavy as a child, I want to say that it is very much ingrained in you at this point, especially now. But even at 2022, when however old she is here, maybe a little bit younger. Yeah. So, like, again, this should have been a red flag. Like, her bariatric team should have done their due diligence and looked at this video, because already I'm seeing, well, you're not a very good candidate for surgery because you already had this surgery and you're trying to say that the surgery failed when really you're the one who can't take any accountability and make sure that you're eating the way you're supposed to, the way you've been directed after surgery.
kind of just took on the project my own, kind of just cutting down portions, like eating half of what I used to, incorporating a lot more. Like I always used to have white bread, white bread. But now I'm always whole wheat for everything.
Gee, doesn't this sound familiar? It's almost as if she feels like if she says it enough, she'll believe it. I never really caught this stuff back in the day, but now, seeing where we are now and just going back to this, it's so crazy to see how long she has been saying the same incorrect things.
I used to hate vegetables, but I'm finally learning to just accept them and eat them.
Yeah, and the only vegetables we ever really see her eat are broccoli, occasionally a potato or a sweet potato. You know, we don't hardly ever see her eat any vegetables. When was the last time you saw her cook some asparagus? Or how about using carrots and celery in her cooking? You know, onion on a regular basis, garlic on a regular basis, corn, peas, green beans. Like, these are all vegetables that I love to eat. Corn, not so much. You got to cool it on the corn. But, you know, we love asparagus. Everybody in this house loves asparagus. Oh, green beans. Listen, I do make a green bean casserole that is delicious, okay? It's not the best for you, and that's why we don't have it all the time, but it is delicious. We love broccoli too. I love broccoli, love cauliflower. I will eat just some steamed broccoli with a little bit of butter and salt. Oh my God, it's so good. But yeah, I always try to incorporate vegetables in one way or another. You know, we do a lot of fruits and vegetables in this house.
I don't mind fruit. And I just came onto Chobani that's got a ton of protein in it, and
She's been obsessed with protein since the beginning. It's always been about protein for her.
it's got like no fat and it's fantastic. So all I can really say if you're looking to lose weight is what it comes down to is portion control. I've read in several places that diet is like 70% of weight loss, I believe.
So she knows this information. I've been told many times abs are made in the kitchen. But yeah, I think it's actually 80%, which I mean, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just remember that food is a significant portion of your health. It's a significant portion of your weight. Yes, it is important to be active. It's important to, you know, exercise and stuff like that. But it is far more important how you eat, what you are fueling your body with.
Don't get mad at me if that's not the right percentage, but it's like a really high percentage. And so if you can even just eat healthier, cut down your portions or anything like that, and go to the gym like just 4 times a week, you know, I always try to go to the gym and get in at least a half an hour of cardio and some weights just because like I want to keep it toned when I do lose more weight. I've hit a plateau for a while. Now that I've lost like 60 pounds, I would love to have said that I lost 100. Like, that's my main goal. I lost 100 pounds. Like, that'd be awesome. And now that the lap band is done, I'm just working on it by myself. So, if you have any more questions about the lap band, feel free to contact me because it's definitely a big decision if you decide to do it. And it's important to get your facts right because there's a lot that I didn't know about going into it, and it was probably a really poor decision, but it taught me a lot, and I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't get it done, so I can't regret it. So, if you need any more diet or exercise tips, feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you. I actually made an Instagram page dedicated to my weight loss journey.
It's just a pattern. It's just a pattern of repeating tasks and things and information.
And a daily post on food, motivation, gym pictures, stuff like that. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and get some weight loss inspiration, my name is 100 lbs to go, and I will put it right here if you have a computer and you can see pop-ups. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the dentist. Anyway, I'm still really loving my red hair. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I have red hair. It makes my eyes look really green, so that's cool with me. So anyway, I love you guys. Comment below what you're feeling, and that's about it. Bye! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video that's a bit overdue. A lot of people have asked me about my lap band experience and about my weight loss journey. I made a video about my lap band journey a really long time ago, and I know the video is really old at this point, so I kind of wanted to do an updated version and give you more details.
It's also very interesting to listen to her voice here. Like, it's so soft and sweet and juvenile. And nowadays, it's definitely not that. And I'm curious why it's changed. Like, was it always like that? And she was just, like, putting on a voice here? Or, you know, because, like, for me, I've always had a very low, kind of gravelly voice. I did make it worse over the years because I used to make this horrible noise when I was in high school that I didn't find out until like I was a senior. I was actually damaging my vocal cords by doing it, which really sucked because all through my school life, like from the time I was in kindergarten until I graduated, I was in either music or choir, and I was always singing, and I loved to sing. I still sing now. Unfortunately, it's no longer as great as it used to be. Even if I were to do all my warm-ups and stuff, I can't hit high notes anymore. It's kind of sad, and like I said, I didn't realize I was damaging my voice. But I've always had a lower voice. I've always been able to sing in like the alto range. I used to be able to sing soprano as well, but yeah, unfortunately, those days are gone. I'm a pretty firm alto now. But yeah, I'm just curious, like, is it her weight? Like, did putting on weight make her voice drop? Or I've wondered about that.
So for most of you who don't know this about me, I have talked about it on my channel before though. I have been on a weight loss journey. My weight loss journey honestly is kind of over, to be honest, because I'm comfortable and happy where I'm at now. And boy, it feels really good to say that I'm finally comfortable and happy with the weight and size that I am.
It's funny because when she was really, really heavy, she said the same thing, but she also said, for the first time in my life, I'm happy and I'm Isn't that interesting that she said that? But she's saying it here when she's much, much smaller.
I know I'm not everyone's standard of healthy. I am a size 14. I definitely don't weigh under 200 pounds, I'll be honest about that. I've always been heavier.
So here she is a size 14 and she does not weigh under 200 pounds. And today in 2025, weighing over 300 pounds, she is only 4 sizes larger.
I've just always been heavier, and this video's about to get real, so pardon me. But I have always just been on the heavier side, and it's just a thing. And I don't know, I'm finally coming to terms with it overall, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back on track. Back when I was going through a really hard time when I was younger, there are stages of my life that I really actually don't really remember because I choose to block them out. I went through a lot of dark times where I found that food was my out and food was my comfort. Like, everybody has that one thing that makes them comfortable, and I know a lot of people who binge eat just for pure comfort, and it gets them through the hard times. You know, I was one of those people. I was one of those kids. So I remember to this day when I was a kid always trying to like sneak snacks or whatever. I think one of the peaks of it was when I had, how old was I? I think I had just turned 16 and I had just gotten my license. And once I got my license, like, that opened doors for me to be able to eat like whatever I wanted, and I didn't have any self-control at the time. I think one of the things that happens when we suffer from food disorders, I think a lot of us have to deal with the fact that it's the only thing in our life that we feel like we can control. So I have made stories on my binge eating disorder before though. I'll find them and link it below.
I find it interesting that every time she loses a significant amount of weight, or any weight at all really, she always uses the past tense with her relationship with food. Like, it was my comfort. I was overeating. I was, whatever. It's always past tense. But it's a struggle. We see that, right? We see it still today being a struggle. So the healing hasn't happened. Whatever it is that she needs to do to stop struggling with it, and the problem is that she's always going to struggle with it for the rest of her life. But she needs to figure out a way to cope with that and to get it under control. Because, she can't even go on, well, no, she could go on my 600-pound life. Dr. Now has done revisions before. But, I feel like that's where it's headed. Is my 600-pound life. We're about to be turning on TLC and seeing her on there.
But this is about my lap band journey, so let me stay on track here. So at that point, I was almost 300 pounds.
Okay, so she's almost 300 pounds. So let's say, unless she's going to tell us that she's lost some other weight before she went and had the gastric band. So let's say she's 290, right? That's almost 300. And we know she's not under 200 now. So she lost 60 pounds, so that would put her at 230, which actually that seems about right. 220, 225, I would say is what she is here. That makes her a size 14. So, first of all, she said in a video, in a Q&A, and I'm going to have to find all of the stuff. I will clip it together when I have some time, because it's just easier when you can just watch the progression. I know for a fact that in a Q&A, she did say that she's been far heavier than she was, and it was the one where she's decorating the Easter cookies. She says that she was, either the same weight or heavier than she was in that video. And now we know that to be a lie, because here she's saying she's almost 300 pounds. In that video, she was almost 400 pounds. So she's a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
And I was completely unaware of that. I was living life very blindly. I thought that I was just whatever. I didn't really think about it. I was very blind to it. I didn't like the scale. I didn't go on the scale. I was just living my life and blocking out a lot of bad feelings with food.
This honestly sounds like what she's been doing recently, like especially since she had her kid.
And I know that was unhealthy of me. So a lot of people might judge me for this, but feeling like you're out of control leads to making decisions that you feel like will help. I never suffered from any other eating disorders besides binge, but I knew that I had a problem with portion control and like not feeling full because my stomach had already been expanding because I was eating so much at the time. So my mom and I, one day, she kind of just had to have that talk with me, and she sat me down and said, I need you to step on the scale right now.
So what I want to know is why either your mother or your husband haven't had that talk with you prior to you going to the doctor. Because let's be very clear, if your mom was worried about you when you were approaching 300, she should have long been worried about you when you were approaching 400. And your husband should have been even more worried.
And I was just like, I don't want to step on the scale. And she made me step on the scale, and that number pierced my heart. I didn't really realize that was where I was at the time. I was, like I said, totally blind to it. So my mom and I talked, and the funny thing is I'd always been trying to lose weight, but food was always my problem. The gym was never my problem. It was always food at the time. I was going to the gym with my grandma, actually. We had like a gym routine. It was really cute. We'd go to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week. I was burning like 600, 700 calories every time I went, but I was eating way too much.
And that's exactly what's happening now. And she just admitted it. She doesn't feel full. So it's the same thing now. When she goes to the gym 3 times a week and does her little 30 minutes of cardio, yeah, sure, she's burning a few calories, but she's eating so much more to negate and even like make it completely pointless because she gained weight.
And I always had that problem with food. Food was always my problem. It was. So I decided to look into lap band surgery. I felt like it was a good option. My grandma, on my father's side, she had actually had gastric bypass, and so had my aunt on that side, I believe.
Yep, so she has a history of people in her family being overweight. And sadly, it's on her father's side, but still. So her telling the health insurance company, or I'm sorry, not health insurance, life insurance company, that she has a great family medical history. You have a history of people in your family being so overweight that they need surgery, including you. So no, you don't have great health history.
And they had really good luck with it, but I didn't like the idea of removing a part of my body.
And just 6 short years later, that's exactly what you do.
Permanently. So I looked into lap band, and I saw that most places in the US didn't do it unless you were 18, and I was only 16 at the time.
Yep, and then you found out the hard way why you should just listen to what's being told to you instead of trying to cheat the system.
So my mom and I looked out at further resources, and we found this doctor in Mexico. Don't get scared when I say that, by the way, guys. It's not like I'm going into like an alley or something and getting surgery. People can be very judgmental when they hear the word Mexico. I don't know why, because I went to a really amazing doctor. And
yeah, so amazing that no one in the U.S. would touch the surgery. No one, like only to remove it. They wouldn't do anything to fill the band or the pouch or whatever. So that's never a good sign.
My experience was great. So this is what happened. We went to Mexico and we went to, I think it was Dr. Ortiz. I think you can look him up if you want to. He's like totally world renowned. He'd been on, I think it was Oprah or Dr. Phil, talking about helping younger kids losing weight because I think they did it on 16 and up instead of 18 and up. And I know that I needed help and I felt that desperate. So it worked out fine.
Isn't it interesting how the first step was surgery? Like, not, oh, I need to gain portion control. I need to lower what I'm eating. I need to look at what I'm eating and eat better. I need to exercise more. Those weren't the things, right? It wasn't, I need to go on a diet. It was, I need to have surgery. That was the first, not only for her, but for her mom as well.
No need to judge me on that one. And it was less expensive than it was here at the time. So we went there. Yeah, we did it. As crazy as it sounds, I've had a very strange life. I've had some really weird experiences. I might write a book at some point. I've taken some weird paths, you could say. I'm always outside the box.
Sadly, Alex, you can't write a book because then we could all fact check it.
But anyway, so we went to Mexico and I had the surgery done. It was like a 5-day trip. Got there the first day, pre-op, second day operation, and then 3 days of rest, and then we came home. And I was bed rested at home for a few months, not a few months, maybe 6 weeks, maybe more. It was a long time ago, like solid 6 years ago. And I was already starting to lose weight because I was on a liquid diet at the time. I was drinking Gatorade, keeping my what is that word? Electrolytes up. Then I worked my way to chicken broth, then I worked my way to dairy, and then I eventually worked my way back to eating. So if you don't know what lap band is, first and foremost, it is a little tube that goes at the top, like a little band that goes around the top of your stomach, and it creates a smaller stomach pouch. So this is your stomach down here, and then this is like the top of your stomach. So they put the little tube here, so this is your stomach down here, but with this tube up here, it creates a small pouch that acts as your new stomach, and it makes you full very quickly, which is pretty great if you feel like it takes you a long time to get full, or if you have a hard time controlling yourself with your portions. And yeah, it works. It does work. But the problem was with this that we were not educated enough. I will admit that. Make sure you're very educated before you go through with any of these kinds of surgeries. Not saying I like totally recommend it, I'll get to that later. But what my mom and I hadn't known at the time is that you needed to get your lap band refilled continuously for it to work properly. And we had not known that the closest fill center to get my lap band filled with the liquid to keep it working was in New Jersey, and I'm in Massachusetts, so it's a 6-hour drive.
I mean, I can't imagine that you would need to get it filled as frequently as a month, so maybe like once every couple of months. You really can't make you flew to Mexico. You can't make a 6-hour drive or catch a flight so that you can keep up on your health, really?
So that was our own fault. I don't know how we missed that. I felt like we researched a ton on the surgery before. Somehow that wasn't part of it. But the fill center was affiliated with the surgeon that we'd gone to, so the fills were coordinated together with my surgeon. So that was nice. The doctor was extremely professional. I had a great experience there. In no way bashing anything about my surgery that happened there in my specific experience. I had a great experience. I met awesome people in that trip. It was a beautiful facility. They put us in an amazing hotel. The whole thing was absolutely splendid. It was a great trip. It wasn't bad at all. It was gorgeous. So then we got home, bed rest. I worked my way back to food. So as I started eating, I was losing weight. I think I lost 30 pounds in the first few months, something like that. And I think it had continued to go steadily, but as my lap band was shrinking and the liquid wasn't filled, so it wasn't working properly, I was beginning to develop really a lot of issues with eating, and a lot of my food was getting stuck, going through the band, and I was throwing up quite constantly. I remember the first day I threw up, it was awful. All of a sudden, I couldn't get my food to go down, and there were certain foods you can't eat that you are limited to. You can't eat white bread, you can't have anything too doughy or sticky, or it will have problems going down. And I can't describe to you this feeling. If you have lap band and you know what it's like to vomit up your food when it won't fit through, I cannot describe to you what kind of feeling that is. I get chills thinking about it because I don't have it anymore, but to think about it, it's weird. It's you just all of a sudden you feel this feeling like your food it's just stuck in there, and you can just heave it up. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said earlier, guys, what this tells me is that she was eating either too much or eating things she wasn't supposed to be eating, and that's why she was having so many issues.
Sorry, way too much information. But yeah, if you have lap band, you know how that feels. So as time was developing, I was losing weight, but not almost in the most healthy way. I was throwing up a lot of my food. My mom and I had gone down to get a couple fills. It wasn't super easy to get down to New Jersey all the time to have it filled, so that was kind of a struggle. But we did go a few times, and once it was filled, it was working properly. But as time went on, I think I had it for a few years. I was losing more weight, and it was becoming much too tedious to keep going to New Jersey, and I was still throwing up my food all the time. It was just a very rough experience. So I started to look into surgeons in my area that would remove it for me. And I got really, really lucky and found a surgeon at a hospital right near my house, and he was such a blessing. He was so nice. My insurance covered it. He looked into it for me, and he was like checking on my cc's of my lap band, and since I was having such trouble eating, oh my god, I was miserable. Like, I couldn't eat barely anything without it getting caught and having to throw it up. But that's just because I wasn't getting fills properly, and it was a challenge. But at that time, I'd felt like I had been ready to do it on my own, and like I felt like I had learned portion control at that time, because after you have the lap band for a while, I almost feel like it not conditions you per se, but I feel like it really helps you mentally get to the right frame of mind where you can live a healthy life and have the proper portions for yourself.
Well, obviously not, because 6 years later you have to have gastric bypass. Well, you don't have to, but you do have gastric bypass. And 4 years after that, you're back on Weight Watchers. And you still haven't learned portion control. You're still eating uncontrollably, and you think you can do it on your own. So I don't know how long that's going to go on before you do the GLP-1 shot. I don't know how long that's going to go on before you decide to have a revision. I don't know, because I feel like we're headed towards something. Some kind of breakdown, some kind of, we're going to get a video of you talking about something, we need to talk or whatever. So it's so sad.
So I was ready. I was ready to get it removed. So he had taken the liquid out for me until the surgery date. Thankfully, he was available to do that for me. And I had my surgery date, and I got it removed, and I was super relieved. I was so relieved. It was just a relief. I could eat again. I was like feeling good and healthy and confident, and once I got my lap band removed, I can honestly say I didn't gain any weight back. I continued to lose on my own, which is an amazing feeling, because the lap band helped me gain more knowledge on food and portion control and health, and over time I just continued to evolve, and I lost more weight on my own without the lap band.
Well, Alex, we're looking at you 10 years later, and we don't know where that knowledge is. We don't know where that portion control is. It's left the building. It hasn't just left the building for you. It's left the planet. Okay? It is so far out of your reach, out of the realm of possibility for you, that you don't even realize it. It is absolutely wild to see you 10 years later.
So, I think the lap band is a very complex surgery. I hope I explained it the best I could about like the tube and everything and the little band that goes in your stomach. If you want more details, obviously just Google it and you'll see some more. But as for recommending it for myself, it helped me in so many ways. There's no way I could ever say that I would take that back, because only God knows where I would be if I hadn't done it.
It's crazy for you to say that and to know that later on you had gastric bypass, and then after you had gastric bypass, you're still heavier after gastric bypass than you are after you had a lap band. Like, you never even got to the weight that you were when you had lap band. That's crazy.
And even before that, I didn't even say this before, but like I had tried other methods. I was on Jenny Craig. I think I lost like 50 pounds, and once I got off of it, I gained it all back.
Much like Weight Watchers.
It just didn't work for me. I tried numerous methods on my own. It just didn't work. So lap band really did change my life for the few years that I had it. Regardless of how miserable I had been at some points of having it, it definitely changed my life. I'm happy now. I went from size 20 to a 14. I went from size 20 to a 14.
Okay, so we all heard that, right? In the beginning of the video, she says she's not even 300 pounds, right? She's almost 300 pounds. And now she's told us that at that almost 300 pounds, she was a size 20. Which means what? She's not a size 18 at 303, if that even is what she weighs. Yikes. Oh, I love exposing her. I just love it. And I mean, my thing is too, is we have to take it with a grain of salt. Now, I don't know if she was like super lying back in these days or, you know, really deceiving us. I want to say no, because she didn't have as much to lie about. Clearly here we can see her. She is much lighter. But if she wasn't even 300 pounds and she was wearing a size 20, that means that if she's over 300 pounds, she's not wearing a size 18.
I'm happy being plus size, being curvy. I'm happy with my body now. I'm happy with the way that I eat and have control now. I don't suffer from binge eating disorder anymore.
Maybe not at this time, but it will definitely come back to haunt you in the future. And we will all watch you spiral out of control.
But binge is a whole nother thing. I will link that video down below if you're looking for like tips and causes and everything like that, because that's a completely different issue. And I'm not saying you can just go and cure your binge eating disorder with a surgery, a weight loss surgery. So don't do that, because it absolutely stems from other issues as well. I think that physical health a lot of the time can be affiliated with mental health. And if you're going through a lot of things, I will definitely say that it can affect you physically. And, you know, you might be trying to self-cure and comfort yourself with food. So definitely, if you feel that way, look into binge eating disorder and getting help for it, because it's absolutely treatable. I've been there. I know my story is a little bit blurry, but hopefully I explained it to my best advantage. I know a lot of people were more curious about my story. Yeah, I love you so much, and remember, you're beautiful. The size in your pants does not define you. Like, you know, you don't have to be a size 2 to be happy and healthy. As long as you feel you're healthy up here and like in your soul, and you just do you, and every day you will continue to evolve and make it to wherever you're trying to get. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye.
It's also crazy to see her hair that short and it actually looks good on her, whereas we've seen her with her hair that short recently and it looked really, really bad. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope this was entertaining. Hopefully I can get to the other ones that I want to and she doesn't take them down, you know, because we know how she likes to do. But yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to take a look at, you know, her lap band story and journey and what have you, and see what she had to say about that, and to continue down examining her weight loss. You know, I've got some other videos planned as well that I hope to get to, but that's going to do it for this one. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys in another reaction coming very soon. Bye.